This soap took me 8 iterations to try to make right, and I still haven't perfected it. This is the Rainbow Soap Chronicles. The idea for it was that I wanted to create a soap that looked like rainbows were raining from the sky in like a drizzle pattern, and then top that soap with a white cloud soap, fluffy soap, so that it would look like a cloud was raining a rainbow. So this first try, I poured in my clear glycerin soap, and then I poured in all of the colors of the rainbow, but I poured in a lot. It was like, I think 2 or 4 ounces of each color when I was pouring it in. And I tried to alternate the colors, so like I was doing red, yellow, blue, and then orange, green, and purple. And then I decided to top it with a gray cloud instead of a white cloud. And I eventually decided against that because I didn't like how the gray looked. It made it all look a little darker. And as you can see, it didn't do that drizzle effect that I wanted. It more just kind of swirled together. It still looked really cool, but it looked more like tie-dye instead of what I wanted it to look like, which was more of like rain falling from the cloud. So this was a fail, but it was still a good learning experience. I decided that on my next try, I was going to do less of the colored soap in the clear glycerin and pour it much faster back to back to back, instead of like heating up the soap and then waiting and then pouring it, and then heating up the soap and then waiting and then pouring it. So I could kind of see at the bottom there, it was giving me the effect that I wanted, but I wanted that drip effect all throughout. So this was try number 2, and you can see I am using much less of the clear soap, but there's a pause, and that pause is because I am heating up the next color to then pour it in. And I think that was a mistake, but and I think I'm also pouring it a little too hot. You can see how the soap is spreading in the clear glycerin after I pour it. It's kind of spreading out a little bit instead of staying nice and uniformed and in a drip pattern. It's mixing together with the other soaps, the other colors that are next to it. So I think that is going to be an issue too. But I really like watching this soap. I mean, it looks really cool watching the color spread. And I decided to not put in purple. I lied. This must have been one of the last soaps that I put in purple. I took out the purple because it was just too many colors. And I wasn't able to get them all in before the soap got too hard for the drip to happen. So you can see I poured the soap much hotter, so it kind of created like a rainbow mountain at the bottom, which has a really cool effect. It looks more like a watercolor to me than it looks like rain, but I really like how this soap turned out if that is what I was going for. And I'm really glad that I decided to move away from the gray cloud and just do a white cloud, because I think that looks a lot better moving forward. This was try number 3, and this was a fail from the get-go. You can see instead of going into the soap, the clear soap, the colored soap was just sticking on top of the clear soap. It didn't even drip through at all. So I just went ahead and scrapped this, cut it all up, and then reused it in a future soap. And I think I still have the top colored pieces that I cut off. I'm probably going to create like a soap confetti soap or something like that in the future with all of my soap scraps. But I try to reuse as much of my soap as possible when I have such a fail like this where I am able to reuse it. I'll just melt it down and pour it into something else, or make a random soap for you guys. But you know, you live and you learn, and I learned that I poured this at too cold of a temperature. So next time a little bit hotter, but not too hot. So this was try 4. And you can see I was really checking the temperature for this one. So I poured in the red, and it looked like the red was beautiful. And then I had to go melt down my next color. So that's why there's this kind of long wait. And then I poured in my orange, and you can see the red was still on the pitcher, and that's because I was reusing my pitcher to try to go as fast as possible between each color. And the orange looks like it was dripping down too, which is awesome. the yellows going in. And this is where I started to get a little worried, was because it didn't look like the yellow was really dripping down at all. I think the clear glycerin soap that I had at the bottom was way too hard right now, and it wasn't allowing the colored soap to drip down through it. So it looked like the red, orange, yellow might have dripped through, but the green and blue were definitely sticking at the top. And you can see there when I unmolded it, only a couple of the yellow came through, and the red and orange did the effect perfectly. That's exactly what I wanted, but it wasn't consistent for all of them. So, okay, try again. Clear soap. Maybe next time I would try to get all of my colored soaps ready immediately and then pour them all at the very quickly, one right after the other. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that here, where I poured my clear soap, poured in my red, and oh my gosh, will I never learn, the clear soap was way too hot and it spread out the colored soap immediately. Clear soap needs to be at a much colder temperature, Amanda. And so then when I pour the colored soap in, it will stay in a line and not spread, hopefully, as much. But I thought I would try to salvage it just for funsies, you know, and because I'm stubborn. So I went ahead and re-poured the colors all the way through, and then I added the cloud soap on top of this one because I was confident in my ability. And I wanted to see what this looked like. I thought it would look cool. And I was right. The drips do look really, really fun. And it kind of gives like a peacock look with the swirls going in like that on either side. And I love how the drips look from the bottom. And the white cloud soap is so much fun. Making the fluffy cloud soap is always a great time. So I don't think this soap was a failure. It's just not... I wish that I had made the clear soap colder when I went to go pour the colored soap, so that it hopefully wouldn't swirl as much and spread out as much as it did. The red definitely, you could see, was spreading out a lot when I first poured it, and then I kind of had to rearrange it when I went to go pour it a second time. Okay, try, what is this, 7, 8, 7? I don't know, I've lost track. So I melted down all of my colors. The clear soap was at a lower temperature. What is this? Oh, this was a failure. I forgot about this one. This one was not good. I don't know what happened with this. I think maybe I was getting tired or something, or maybe I was getting cocky. I don't know. I don't have any excuse. This was bad. It spread out. It looks like a rainbow hurricane, which is fun, but I want the drip pattern. And this definitely didn't give that. This was actually discounted on my shop for a little bit there. But okay. Second to last try, I believe. I really made an effort this time to check the temperature of the soaps before I poured them and when I was pouring it in, and it looks like, look at the red. You can see the red dripping down exactly how I wanted it to, and the orange kind of spread out, and so I thought that if I went over it one more time that it would give more of that drip effect that I wanted. And I had some fun with the top on this one and added a rainbow swirl to the top of the cloud too. And this is my favorite one. It's actually up for a pre-sale right now on my website. It's called pre-sale Rainbow Cloud, because I was not able to stop it from swirling, but as I learned from you guys on TikTok, it's because of the convection heat that is inside the clear glycerin soap, and so it's going to be swirling as it's getting colder, and so because of that, I don't think my vision that I had in my mind is actually possible right now, at least with the tools that I have and the knowledge that I have currently with soap making. I'm not saying it's impossible for anyone, just for me right now, I don't think it is. But this was my final try, and I was trying to like dot on the colored soap to see if it would stay and just drip down like that. And then some people were saying on TikTok that they missed the purple and that I should incorporate that into the cloud. So I went ahead and did that. And this one just turned out really wispy. Lots of the color didn't come through, and it still did the swirl that I was talking about. So this was my final try. But I am really excited to know what you guys on YouTube think about this soap. Which version of this soap was your favorite? I did 8 of them and I might do more in the future, but right now I'm going to give my brain some time to reflect and think about my actions think about how I can better make the soap in the future to try to do the vision that I want to do with the rainbow cloud. But in the meantime, I'll be working on other soaps, and let me know what you guys think. Did you like version 1 the best with the gray cloud? Version 2 that I call like the rainbow mountain that had the white cloud? Did you think that version 4 was the best with the drips at the beginning but not at the end? Did you like version 5? I think version 5 and version 7 were my personal favorites. Even though it did the swirl, I still think that that was the closest that I came to what I was imagining in my head. Version 6 I lovingly call the rainbow hurricane. And then version 8 was the kind that we just saw with the purple cloud on top. So let me know in the comments which one was your guys' favorite, and be sure to like and subscribe.